Hello, my name is Matthew Tink. This video will build on last week's overview and analysis of U.S. close air support doctrine. This presentation evaluates academic scholarship gathered from JSTOR and other databases to understand how historians interpret the doctrinal evolution of JTACs. The goal is to identify where research ends and where a new study on modern JTAC development should begin. Michael Bachand shows that air-ground coordination in World War II was improved only when commanders were forced to adapt under combat pressure. His research demonstrates that tactical innovation regularly outpaced official doctrine, creating a persistent gap between battlefield's needs and institutional policy. That ongoing tension foreshadowed the eventual requirement for professionally trained controllers, the forerunners of today's JTACs. Campbell and co-authors analyzed the Vietnam War and the early forward air controllers, FACs, who directed CAS at the tactical edge. Their study demonstrates how these controllers, also predecessors to modern JTACs, provided critical clarity between pilots and ground forces, despite inconsistent doctrine and limited communications. This reinforces the idea that human integration was always essential to effective CAS. Additional scholarship by Costello, Fowler, and Johnson documents how Cold War battles and emerging precision technology created more complex CAS requirements than doctrine could handle. Contemporary reporting by Baldwin in Vietnam and Loeb in Afghanistan also reflects a growing acknowledgement of the controller's value on the battlefield. Together, these perspectives confirm that the evolving role of the human controller was a long-term doctrinal need. Before the global war on terror, Carroll and Garrett argued that the growing technological complexity of CAS required a formally trained and standardized controller, a role that would eventually be defined as a joint terminal attack controller. Their research shows that U.S. forces had reached a point where ad hoc forward air controllers could no longer keep pace with digital targeting systems, precision munitions, and joint operations. Importantly, they recognized the risk of fratricide and ineffective fires increased significantly without a dedicated and trained professional. These pre-GWAT assessments demonstrate that the shift toward a standardized JTAC was an institutional requirement waiting for doctrinal action. Although Dr. Nathan Bachand offers one of the most comprehensive analysis of close air support doctrine, his dissertation concludes in 2003, just before the global war on terror accelerated institutional expansion of the JTAC program. During the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, JTAC shifted from a small community supporting mainly select Army, Marine, and Special Operation units to a standardized joint requirement across U.S. and coalition ground forces. This transition included new formal training, combined joint and coalition certifications, digitally networked targeting systems, and joint publications that fundamentally altered CAS execution. Few studies have examined how post-2003 reforms reshaped close air support by placing the JTAC at the center of tactical execution. This transformation remains one of the least explored areas in the study of modern joint warfare and points to a valuable direction for continued research. Filling this potential research gap is critical because the modern battlefield depends on JTAC expertise to synchronize precision weapons, real-time intelligence, and ground maneuver under lethal time constraints. The transformation from ad hoc control to doctrinal necessity is where this proposed research would continue. In conclusion, past scholarship demonstrates that doctrine has appeared to consistently struggle to catch up with the realities of close combat. And recent history shows that JTACs became the essential solution to that challenge. This ongoing research intends to address the post-2003 doctrinal development of JTACs and their main impact on modern U.S. air-ground lethality. Thank you for watching.